Hello, everybody. Welcome to School Live. Master Spiritual Teacher GP Walsh and very good spirits and myself, Lisa Berry, are here with you today for class. We're actually here for the here and now. Literally. Here and now is the name of today's show. And I love this. The body as an anchor of presence. This one has a few hot topic questions to go along with it. Hello, everybody. I can see some of the comments coming through. Keep them coming because here on School Live, we do about half the show as a lesson, as asking questions and going through, but then we address the comments and questions from you. So please put them there. And all right, GP, I'm going to jump into the body as an anchor of presence, but let's talk about the body first. And being in the body, because that's a funny thing to say. We're going to go in the body, but it's actually because we're using the body to get out of it. So, yeah, so that's a weird one. Can you put us into a perspective of where we are?
Right. Getting into the body, the whole point behind it is that for the most part, we're in our heads. And we're thinking about things rather than experiencing things. And it's become so habitual that we miss life because life is felt, right? I mean, if I say, I could tell you, speak all day in the most articulate way about what an orange tastes like, but until you taste one, right, it's meaningless. So you have to taste it. And where's the taste? It's in the body. There's no feelings in the mind, right? It's all pictures and snapshots and representations and indexes and all sorts of things. And yet our main vehicle through which we try to understand the world is through the mind. And that's a huge mistake. If we go directly to the body, the experiences of the body were there first. And the mind came later. You know, your cat, Brinks has as much experience as we do. Right?
Yes.
But he doesn't think about it.
Right.
He just experiences it. Right. And does that make him any less?
Right.
We don't really need the mind per se. And so the first practice is to get out of the mind and into the body, which simply means you start training your attention to be more focused on feeling than on thinking. Okay. And so you open up a completely different world, right? You actually taste the orange, right? Rather than describe it in great detail in its chemical makeup and everything, which is fine, but you want to taste it. You want to actually taste life as it is. Now, as that starts to happen, and you're more and more in the body, there's a space that begins to open up. Because first off, the reason we're not in the body is because we don't feel it's safe to be there. It's because of trauma and wounds and all sorts of stuff. And we escape into our heads to keep from feeling the pain that we've all experienced. Unfortunately, that also keeps us from experiencing the pleasure and the joy that is there, the potential for all of that. And so as you're doing that and you're consistent with it, stuff's going to start coming up that could be painful, right? And you have a choice at that point. I can either run back into the head, I can distract myself in some way, or I can stay with it and see where it goes. Now, as you do that, more and more space opens up because in the act of turning your attention inward, you're actually creating a safe place. You're no longer running away from it. You're actually being fully present with it. And then what happens eventually, not right away, but eventually what happens is that our concept, our idea about the body itself begins to change. Because when we talk about the body, we're talking about a concept. We're talking about organs and cells and all these kinds of things. But what's your actual experience of the body? Mm-hmm. And the more you do that, the more transparent the body becomes until it literally disappears. The boundary between the body, what you call you, and the rest of the world disappears. And with it, so do you. Because in fact, the body is a concept. The only thing we actually ever experience is the sensations. And if you take the sensations and recognize that sensations, we believed the sensations to originate in the body. As the body disappears, we see the sensations didn't originate in the body because there isn't a body, that they originated in consciousness. And so the substance of all existence becomes consciousness. And that's a gradual process. It doesn't happen like that. But step one is you got to get into the body to anchor the presence. And the presence is the healing agent. And that's what happens first. Healing takes place. Harmonious flow is reestablished. You begin to experience life the way Brinks does, the way an animal does, very directly, very viscerally. And it has an interesting effect because it has a profound influence on the way we think. Concepts become less solid. Our thinking becomes more malleable. Prejudices fall away. Fears fall away. And there's this wonderful harmony that emerges, followed by the realization that consciousness is your being and that the body is only a concept. It's only an experience that's being happened that's been attributed to an external world. And you eventually see that there isn't an external world. It is pure experience. Consciousness is all there is. I wasn't expecting to go here.
Well, yeah, you took, see, but you did exactly. You took us into the body and then out of the body, and then was more than the body. And now I think we should rewrite the song. The neck bone's connected to the. But actually, what something that was so funny. I have to ask this now. So I have a sister, and anybody who has siblings will know this. So when we were little, she would do something, and I would be so angry with her. Like maybe she took a toy or didn't let me play with something or do something, and I was angry. I had a feeling, and then my mind said, bad sister, we're not talking to her. And then she would want to make up, and she'd come over and do something goofy or silly and make me laugh, and then I would laugh, and I'm like, no, I'm not laughing at you. You're not
I can't laugh with you. No.
So my body was sensing first, yes, that wasn't nice. I feel. Then my body went, it's not safe to laugh with you and have fun with you because you just hurt me. And so I now want to squish down, and we do this at like maybe at work. We might do it with colleagues or
yes,
relationships. And is it that, what do we do in that case when, if we really were to be in our bodies would want to laugh and because it really was safe to laugh, but then our mind reminded us, no, we don't like that person. You're not laughing at them or with them.
Yeah. Well, the body's way of dealing, it would be, if it was something consistent, which it is with siblings, it's 1 minute, 1 minute on, 1 minute off, the body's going to just kind of get used to the pattern. Right.
Okay.
And so it's not going to be a big deal, but very early on, and if you watch little kids, it's like that, right? It's just like instantaneous. There's no holding on to anything. But over time, the pains get a little bit deeper. It gets more complex. You're in a bigger world. There's more influences in the like. Your nervous system is now having to keep you safe in a much larger world than it was before. And so if we become aware of that, right, then it can process very naturally, and you can actually use perception to say, oh, is this really dangerous? And it'll begin to mitigate it, right? But when the sense of self or the ego starts coming online, there's a different level of protectiveness, right? Now there's pride it wants to protect. There's the egoic space it wants to protect. It's no longer just the body. And this is where we get lost in the mind, and we get lost in our heads and have to make our way back again to find out what's really happening here, rather than what do I think is happening. And that thinking becomes reflexive. It happens so fast that you think your thoughts about an experience and the experience are the same, and they never are.
Yeah, that's the tricky one. And I just wrote the word down. You said the word pride, which is great. It's a P word, but I was going to say taking a position protection. It's if the ego, if it's a position, like I'm taking a position kind of protection, that's not real protection. It's not the, is it, wait, is ego from the nervous system, or is the nervous system just environmental sensing, blah, 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 be safe. And then the ego will step in with a position or pride?
The ego is a creation of the nervous system. It doesn't exist independently of it.
Right.
It's part of the whole mechanism of being a human. We have to develop a persona that's going to function in the world. And because that persona functions in the world, to agree, obviously somewhat successful, or none of us would be here, right? It's very natural for the system to want to protect that. And when there's no awakening happened yet, we can't tell the difference, right? There's no way to assess whether the egoic persona is just, you're stuck in a persona that isn't really functioning very well. It did at one point and now it doesn't. It functioned when I was 3, right, to keep me safe in that environment, but now I'm 10 and it doesn't function anymore, right? Or I'm 50 and I'm dysfunctional, right? Because that protectiveness of the persona is purely reactive, right? And so until there's some degree of consciousness that awakens, it's just going to continue in the reactive pattern. That's the nature of it. The lower 3 chakras, if you will, do not have the capacity for self-assessment. They're purely reactive. The ego is purely reactive. So consciousness has to step up, has to come to a different level in order to be able to assess the quality and truthfulness of what the reactive patterns are, because they can't do it themselves any more than the computer can assess whether or not the program's working.
That's interesting thinking that, because so many people are so not safe in their body that they cut off the interpretation, I would say, of what the senses are, because they can't trust that space. And so if they sense danger there, if they cut it off and say, no, I don't want to, what about the people who say, I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to feel this. Is that true, using the body as an anchor to be present? Or is that, I don't want to feel this because another story or emotion is coming up in me?
Well, it's our habit of not feeling pain. I don't want to feel this, right? It is very natural for us to want to get away from pain, right? The problem is that we've mistaken emotional pain, right, for physical pain, whereas physical pain, there's an imminent danger. Something has to happen. If I'm cut, something has to happen. But if my feelings are hurt, right, that's a completely different thing. And if the same mechanism reacts to both as if they were both imminent danger, you've now just painted yourself into a corner. You're going to be lost in the mind, and it's going to cut you off from all feeling. But the protective mechanism will cut you off from intimacy, because intimacy is dangerous, because there's a potential for being rejected in intimacy, and it's true.
Yes. The not safe thing. So before I go to presence, this actually came in earlier, this little question. So by the way, if anybody has any questions throughout this, please put them here, or if any question comes up at all, please put it there, and then we can put it in the appropriate show. We can address it there too. This came up with desire. So as opposed to fear, we're like, ooh, desire. And as you've been sharing a lot this past week, that desire is very natural. Desires are good. They're okay. Like, you can't not have a desire. It comes.
Yeah.
The question is, can we use the body as an anchor to distinguish if it feels good, then it's just a desire and that's okay. But if it feels bad, then it's like, how can we use the body of presence to know if a desire is a desire and that natural human thing, or something that we're holding on to or chasing that's actually causing the suffering because we don't have it?
The body doesn't hold on or chase anything.
Okay.
Right. Desires just come and go. They're there, they're not. I mean, if a desire takes root in its natural state, it's like your cat. I mean, they have a desire, right? And it does it. And then it's fulfilled and it's done. And he lets it go. Right. There's a very natural flow there. There's no chasing it, right? Or clutching it. The cat doesn't clutch on to the, I want the wet food. I want the wet food, goddammit.
I swear Brinks does, though.
Well, like every creature, they have preferences, right? But he's not going to suffer over it. He's not going to suffer over it. He makes his preference known, and then it's like, yeah, whatever, get on with life. But so the chasing of it comes later. That's all part of the activity of the ego and the mind, right? The desire arises, the sense of self or ego begins to interpret that desire from its perspective. So it's no longer just the body anymore, right? Which is where it's actually arising from. It's just arising out of the body and the environment and just life. Life just happened, right? But the meaning attached to that desire arising is completely a result of our conditioning. That desire says, I can't be happy. The desire doesn't say, I can't be happy until this is fulfilled. It's just the desire. The mind says, I can't be happy until I get it, which is simply not true.
Okay. Say that was where a person was challenged, conflict, stuck. You know, they're like, I want money. I want to be thin. I want to be happy, like something. I want something, a desire, natural, very natural, shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mind gets a hold of that and says, yeah, you're not going to be happy until you do that. Mm-hmm. Where do you go from there to become present? Because if we're thinking, I can't be happy without it, that's future thinking, or I've never been happy without it, so that's my past thinking. How can I be present with that without thinking that by being present, we're going to fix it?
Well, very good. You caught yourself on what's quite a subtle one. Right? Okay, I'm going to be present now. Is it fixed? Is it fixed? Is it fixed?
It was perfect.
To be present in this moment is to feel whatever this moment contains. Feel whatever you happen to be feeling. Now, if you practice that for a while, you'll begin to notice that there is the feeling or the desire, and then there's the thoughts about it, right? And until then, they're one, right? You can't disassociate it. So that the idea that I can't be happy till I get it means that when a desire arises, it immediately triggers unhappiness. So a desire, which is such a natural thing, and it's there all the time, becomes the imagined source of unhappiness. If I have a belief that I can't fulfill this desire, and a desire arises, I'm suffering. Period. So first, we have to detach these two. We have to kind of unlock this so we can sit in the middle and go, well, okay, so there's this feeling, and then there's these thoughts about the feeling. Then I can go, are these really true? Until then, I can't. I cannot discern what's actually true and what isn't. And it's difficult only because we're so used to the thinking about it that when a desire arises, it automatically triggers the sense of unhappiness, the sense of lack, the sense of not being enough, right? And so they get so associated, we don't realize they're not the same. That's a way in which we've been conditioned to react to the arising of a desire. And none of that is inherent in the desire itself. And this is where the discerning eye has to step in, to look at it and go, wait a minute, this is just a desire. There it is. This is what it feels like. Right? And then little by little, the story about it will become less and less influential. It'll begin to diminish to the point where a completely different view of things can begin to emerge. Namely, oh, there's nothing wrong with the desire. And some desires are important to me that I want to fulfill them. But I can do that and be happy at the same time. I can be happy through the whole process rather than making happy the result of its fulfillment. Because then, as long as it's unfulfilled, I will be unhappy. And then if it's never fulfilled, I'll have to get rid of it, or I'll suffer forever. And if it is fulfilled, I'll immediately go into the feeling, well, what if I lose it? And so the happiness will be a flash at best.
Yes. Okay. That was interesting. I love that. So when the desire actually blocks the happiness because I'm either I need it to have it, or I could lose it and then I won't be. My question was, remember, because I'm visual here, you take this and you take this. There's the thought, there's the desire, here's the thoughts, and you have to go in the middle to kind of ask, is this true? Who is the one asking? Is it really true? How do we get?
That's you. That's you.
How do I make sure it's me, not ego?
Well, the ego can't look at itself. It can't smell its own breath. So if there's something looking at what the ego is the thoughts, right? There's not a thing thinking the thoughts. It's just the thoughts that say, I won't be happy unless, right?
I'm getting that. Yes.
And so what is it that would look at that and see those thoughts? It's not the ego any more than your hand can see you. You see your hand, it doesn't see you. You see the ego, it can't see you. There's nobody there.
That's such a you got me on that one again. Yes, ego is thoughts. It's not I keep going back to, I think we've given ego such a personality, a strong,
God, yes,
superhero thing. I can't. I get it.
And then
super villain, protecting us at times and not. Okay, I like that. So yes, as soon as we are asking that question, is this true and is this real? That we're out of ego.
The ego can't ask that question.
Right. Okay. I love that.
It can't.
Okay. So there are some, I like using my word this week, mechanics to being present. There's some signs to let us know that we are. There's some ways of getting there. One of my favorite ones with you is you say, close your eyes. And that's always helpful. Why does closing our eyes help us to become more present?
Because 80% of what we experience comes in through our eyes. It is the most, for sighted people, it is the most active of all the senses. And so we're always looking, right? Second is hearing. And the eyes are unique in that we can close them. None of our other senses can we do that.
Yeah.
And so when you close your eyes, because the majority of your attention is going towards visual things, right? The attention has to go somewhere. And so it immediately starts to look for a focus. So if I close my eyes and just focus on my breath, my attention has somewhere to go. And so now I'm focusing it on feeling rather than thinking, and rather than seeing, rather than external interaction with the world. And so there's a very natural tendency to turn inward.
Okay. And then you mentioned breath, which is really big.
Yeah, it is.
Our breath always present? Are we breathing literally in unison with the present?
Well, breath is very interesting because it's the only automatic bodily function that we can actually influence.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make my heart beat differently. I can't make my food digest differently. I can't slow down or speed up my hair growth. Or, there's a lot of men that wish they could just make it grow. We can't do that. But breath we can. Not completely, because the moment I stop thinking of it, it just keeps going, right? But I can actually use it as a gateway to become more conscious of my body. And I can do stuff with it. I mean, pranayama and all that kind of, there's all sorts of things that doing different things with the breath. And, Wim Hof, like people that, meditate naked in the snow on the Himalayas and stuff. And there's, I've not seen this, but stories of verified stories of some, Buddhist monk sitting in the middle, meditating in the snow. And it's like 20 feet in diameter. The snow's all melted.
Right. Yeah. Temperature. Yeah.
So this is all through the breath, which gives us more access to the body. Now, ultimately, you can, the yogic powers and things like that, they can become as amazing as they are, they can then become a block, because now I can be more into making the snow melt than finding out who I am. right?
Yes.
It is a step inward, right? And so I'll use the breath with people, and sometimes people who are really in their mind, I'll give them a little breath technique that they use every time they find themselves just their mind just spinning. Here, do this, right? And it's very effective because it calms the system. But when the breath slows down, obviously when we're excited, it speeds up, right? So if we consciously slow it down, it's another message to the body saying we're safe. Slow down. You can let this go. And so, you know, it's like EFT, right? It's just one of those ways in which we basically remind the body that it's okay, right? Because it's been triggered over something. And so yeah, so the breath is a great way to get into the body, and then beyond the breath, you just start becoming increasingly aware of all the very subtle sensations that are going on. Mm. And from the sensations, you can go even further, beyond where the body literally disappears.
Yes.
But the word, I shouldn't say it disappears. It's like there's nothing. It's not an out of body experience. It melds with the world. There's no line of demarcation. The experience is still there, except the imaginary boundary between my skin and the room I'm in isn't there anymore, because that's imaginary.
Yes. I've been recently experiencing this. Question is, when we are present, are we always safe? Or, and reversing that, do we need to be safe to be present?
Let's go with the first one first. If you are present, you are only in danger from something that's really a danger.
Right. Somebody's coming at me.
Somebody's coming after you. Something's going on. There's nothing interpreting that or inventing something, right? Which sees a danger where there isn't one, or doesn't see one where there is. So you're now functioning completely naturally. And in that instance, you find that 99.9% of the time, there is no danger, which means we should be just absolutely content and and happy and singing all the time, right? Because we're not really in any danger. But so the sense of the danger becomes harmonized. So we know when it's real. And that presence does bring you to that, because now you're going to be present, which means I'm not projecting any meaning or interpretation on things. Oh, that really is dangerous. Shoop, over to the side. You know, I go around it. So there's nothing fogging the vision. Being present does increase the safety. It is a vehicle through which the safety happens. Oh. Safety, or the sense of safety or danger, is always reactive, right? Presence is not reactive. It's just present.
Right.
It's not reacting to anything. It's aware of everything. It's aware. It's that which is aware of the reaction.
Right. Present is the aware of the reactions. Ooh, I like that one. Yes. So when we are present, we are, okay, I have to bring up cats one last time, because I have this thing called Present Moment Kitty. And you know what? Bringing it to cats, you're right. When they are present, they are aware of danger or safety. That they're not reacting until something comes up. Yes. And perhaps it's a desire, need to eat, need to sleep, need to do this. So it comes up. Now they respond. Oh, I like the word. Okay.
Well, no, animals, you know, cats are great because there isn't any overhead. And if they're challenged or threatened, you know, a strange cat or some other, or a dog or something like that, you'll watch them, you know, and they're all in, right?
Yes.
But then, you know, the danger passes, they run away, and 2 minutes later, they're right? Nothing's being held. It's all discharged out of the system. That's the natural harmony of the Tao that we humans are striving. That's what presence brings you to. That's enlightenment of the body.
Okay. And I know it's not an exact science here, but what percentage of our life, of human life, should we be present? Like, is there you should be present 80% of the time, like, or 40 or 10, 100?
Well, you always are. We have to become aware of the presence. You're always present. I mean, are you not here now? I mean, when are you not here?
That's great.
You see, when we're talking about the presence, we're really talking about attention. Right? We're talking, where is the focus of our attention, right? And when you say presence, it means that you are aware of where your attention has gone, that you're not asleep to it, right? But you're always present. Consciousness is always there. So this is a training of the attention. It's very subtle what this is, because the actual presence is never absent. It's the unborn. It's the uncreated. It's always here. Awareness is always here. Within awareness, there's a sense of existence, a sense of I am that's having, right? And it's wandered way away from its source, but it's like water coming out of a fountain. The water can't get away from the fountain and walk away.
Right. Yes.
It may think it is, right? Oh, look, I'm flying through the air. I don't need anybody, but just turn off that faucet for a second. Whoa!
Right. Yes. When somebody says, pay attention, is that what they're doing? Is they're saying, come back to wherever you are, come back here to what this activity is, this interaction?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Is that being present then? If you're focused, then is that being present?
Well, it's bringing your human existence in alignment with the presence that's always here. That's really what it is. And so attention is the way that happens. Where's my attention going? It's getting scattered all over the place, right? And especially these days, right? Everybody's vying for your attention, right? Yeah. Notifications on your computer, the little beep on your phone. What is it to get your attention? Advertisers spend billions upon billions of dollars to get your attention, right? And to yell louder than the other people so you'll pay attention to them, right? Because attention is everything. Our entire experience is determined by where our attention goes. So taking charge of that is the most powerful thing you can possibly do. And bringing that attention towards yourself to find out who I really am is the doorway to awakening.
Yes, that's fun. The scattered thing is totally catching me. So if we are the way the world is, like I just probably, when you said that, I think 3 notifications just came up and I noticed them even more than normal. I was ignoring them. Can we become, I want to say the word ill, but is it unhealthy for us spiritually to be divided so much, to be scattered, to be not present, just to keep jumping?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can never get anything done.
Spiritually or
on any level. and it's the creator of stress,
right,
as well, because the body isn't comfortable doing that. We were not meant to multitask. It's not natural. And because it's not natural, it causes stress. It reduces productivity. Our capacity to focus on a single task is our genius. That's what allows us to do anything. I mean, even in the, self-help and, the law of attraction and stuff, it's about focusing your attention long enough, right?
Yes.
And because it's so easily diffused. Even Nisargadatta was asked about desire and achieving things. He says, you don't achieve anything because your attention is scattered and diffused. Mm-hmm. He attained his awakening in 3.5 years because he was absolutely focused on nothing else other than his work. I mean, he was a householder, so he had to do his job. He had his little beady, his little stores around Bombay, and he had four kids and the like. But every moment that he had to himself, it was the only thing he did. Absolute concentration on it. And this is one of the reasons why even setting goals and things like that is valuable, but it really, I mean, they have to come out of out of a genuine value, something that you can commit to over a long period of time, that gives you the criteria by which you say, you know what, this is not important. I don't want to think about this. And when that happens, the chain is broken. This isn't important to me, right? At that point, the mind will eventually slow down on that and start feeding you more of the stuff that is important to you, because it is your servant after all. So yeah, this is critical.
Yes. I realized how it made me do some self-inquiry. I have a friend who was taken on according to him, the lovely, committed task of building a plane from scratch, like literally from scratch. And, I was asking questions, how long have you been doing this? Oh, already a year. I was like, well, how long is it going to take? Like, it's like a 5-year thing. And I went, oh my gosh, like I couldn't even imagine committing to building something from scratch for 5 years. I was like, gosh, when I think about making dinner, if it's going to take me more than 45 minutes, I'm like, right? So,
yeah.
And then I'm thinking about this and I'm going, that must be some form, to each of us that has a craft or a skill or a hobby, something that, are we present when we're so, our mind's not anywhere other than this is the goal, this is the focus. And it means, when something means a lot, a desire, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that allowing us to be be present with what we are doing? And is it actually helping us to find out more about us, or is it just something fun we love doing because we're human and it's a thing?
Well, it depends. It depends. It's a wide variety of some things we just have fun, but they're not all that important. Other ones take on more value. It's part of our coherence process we're developing, right? And from that point, it becomes love. Mm. The desire becomes fueled by love. Right? Because there's some desires that's purely, I got to make money to survive or something like that. It's not love, right? Mm-hmm. But other things, it's like, I do it because I love it. Right? I don't want to do anything else. If somebody's going to really become a great athlete or a great musician or something, it can't be because they want the fame or the glory. It won't sustain them. It won't be because they like it. You got to fall in love with it. Mm-hmm. And the love sustains you even when it sucks mud. Boy, some of the things I had to learn doing music just over and over, it just never, it was love that sustained it through the time when it was just sounded horrible. And then all of a sudden one day, bam, it's there. It's under your fingers. You got it. Right. But getting to that, the 10,000 hour thing, right?
Yes, I remember that. Oh, that just took me back a long time. When we say we decide a desire comes up and we decide to then follow through and say, I would like to do meditation every day, 1 minute, half an hour, whatever it is. How important is it so that when we are present in meditation? I guess is meditation to become present, or are we present to meditate?
Wow. I could answer that in a whole bunch of different ways. At first, when people do it, they meditate to become present. Okay. Of course, that's, it's especially in the West with our rather immature spiritual groundwork that we have here. Meditation is always about what I'm going to get out of it. Yes. Right? Could be something as I'm going to meditate to manifest something in my life. I'm going to meditate, which is, focusing on something it's not really meditation. It's more concentration, but that's part of the package too. But anyway, you want to meditate to be present, right? I want to be more present. Well, in the meditation, then you're meditating by being present. So the meditation is, I keep bringing my attention back to simply my body, my breathing, to something that's very close and intimate to me. And I'm bringing the attention out of that to the anchor, which is our body. At least that's where it starts. And so what's happening then is your attention now is becoming more and more aligned with presence. So while you're meditating to become present, the meditation is the practice of presence. Right? So you don't, you don't meditate to become a Buddha. You meditate, you practice being Buddha.
Yes. Yes.
And that's a key distinction. And in the beginning, most people don't get that, right? But after a while, it's like, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm being present. And it's a practice, and you just do it enough so it spills off of the cushion into every other aspect of your life. And you find that presence is just what you do, or just what you are.
Right. I have to share this, and it's probably good timing anyways. I do want to talk about the looking class, because I have not recently, but kind of recently, been participating more so in the looking class. And I hope that I see all of you there. I'll tell you about it in a minute. What I've noticed is when I really do commit, and I am being my Buddha whilst in the looking class, the more I practice that, the more it has become what I do with you guys every Wednesday. It's not that. So I would say that we've all said at one time in our life, wow, time flies. This year just went by so fast.
Mm-hmm.
What I've noticed is that since I've been present more in my life, and especially starting with Wednesdays, because if I didn't attend Wednesdays, I don't think I would have done this much. It's not that I want to say time slowed down or I remember more, but my experience of this human experience seems more expansive, deeper. Mm-hmm. Like there's more to remember. Like I definitely won't say, oh my gosh, time flies. I'm like, nope, I remember every Wednesday really well. And but it's an expansion. It's more that I don't remember the Wednesday. I remember meeting and being with myself, as opposed to.
So it's not a memory anymore.
Right.
You're not remembering being there. You're there.
I'm just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite a loving feeling, to be honest. I feel like that's how you can love your life, because you know your life, and then you have this feeling of living your life, as opposed to just all this crap that goes on. And yeah, check mark, I did this, I did that, garbage day, which is fun.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very different way of living. It's very, very present, and that's the word we keep. If you are present with life, you're in awe of it. It's not being veiled by a bunch of ideas about it. And then we ignore life as we're pursuing this some state somewhere that's supposed to be the big payoff. And even with meditation, we see enlightenment as if it's a big payoff at the end of a process. It's not. It's this moment right here. If it's not now, it's never.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's interesting about the enlightenment. I'll bring that in. And anybody, if you have any questions at all, just please pop them in here. I don't think we have any at the moment.
We don't have any questions here. Come on.
I know.
Come on.
We've answered everybody. No, let's bring that into the equation here for being present and presence. I'm just going to name them because I don't even know. Bliss, ayahuasca, LSD, all those trips, journeys, medicine, mm-hmm. whether it's done in a ceremony way or just recreational. Are we present? Is it possible to be present in those moments, or is that us looking for that payoff?
Well, both. If it's recreational, it is just recreational. It's got nothing to do with anything.
Desire.
If it's ceremonial and it's done correctly with the right set and setting, it's an opportunity. It provides temporarily it puts the egoic mind and its interests in abeyance for a moment, and you experience things directly. That's why people say, my God, I love everything, right? Well, because there's no ego there that is judging it, is saying, well, is this good for me? What am I going to get out of it? Because the ego is always making deals, right? Right. Life is something, it's trying to get something from you. Put that to the side and you just experience the bliss of life. And oftentimes people then become very attached to the drug, right? And of course the drug that's not the point. It's medicine, right? And medicine is what you take until you don't need it anymore. Right. It's not supposed to be the permanent thing. It's supposed to remind you, right? And then prior to that, or at least after that, should develop some kind of a practice so that it becomes practiced. It becomes integrated. So it's a very powerful opening. It's a very valid path. And meditation does the same thing. Over meditation, you'll have those experiences. You'll weep bitterly, and you'll also know bliss. You'll see angels, right? All of it is part of the deal, and it's all part of the path. None of those are it, and it can be unless you have the right kind of teaching. It's very easy to get trapped in the special effects.
Ooh, good word. And I see two questions pop up. You just reminded me of something I haven't thought about in forever. I'm going back to 2003, probably 2 right now. So 20 years. I was managing a ladies' gym, and it was new enough still. Like, we only had 1 a week, but we had a yoga class. And I was like, I'm going to do a yoga class. And it was with all these other people, like an aerobics class. So here we are doing yoga for the first time in front of people in my life. And I am not a cry pants person at all. And I was doing a pose, and all of a sudden I just had this overwhelming, I wanted to cry and weep. And I was like, oh, and I was the manager. So I was like, I am not going to, I left the class immediately. I was like, what is happening? And it shook me up for a while, because it's like, where did that come from? That was a horrible feeling. I hate yoga. And I didn't do it years after that, especially in public. But now I'm really getting that, because you're right. It's this, I was in my body. And it was really present, and feeling.
That's the actual point of yoga. I know. I'm sorry. It's not to look hot. That's a nice side effect. But
you don't look hot when you're crying either.
Yeah. The actual point is to get you into your body.
Yes. Yes. And it worked. And now I'm really going back on. Now I'm having, this is wonderful reflection. But that was, you're right. That's so true. Wow. Okay. That was super helpful. And just because I don't want to forget, and I have to make an invitation.
It happens with people go and have a massage often. Suddenly you'll just start weeping for absolutely no reason. Right. Because something in the body has moved. Something in the body has been released.
And craniosacral therapy. And
all of the body, what's the name for it? The body
healing touch,
body touch thing treatment thing. Yeah. All of them have that element to it, and it's essential. And actually, having some kind of engagement of the body is essential to the healing of trauma.
Oh, the power of touch, one of your courses.
Yeah.
I just have to see that one or do it. But I will make the invitation before I just go into these questions. And especially now I have an additional invitation, and I'm going to put it out on some posts, because you just created this thing in my mind, GP. If you've done a medicine journey and you would like some support now, you've done it, you've gone, whatever. Now what? Yeah. The Looking class is absolutely a place for you. And I am going to invite everybody. Yes. We meet every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And it is only $97 for the entire month. So whether you get the 4 Wednesdays or 5 Wednesdays, however many they are, you're able to come in. We send out something called the Mirror, the Monday Mirror on Monday. It's a little bit of a lesson at teaching. And then you can, for 2 hours, we just work together as a small group, very, very safe, very intimate, very loving, supportive. And then we even have an accompanying chat that gets very busy and lovely. It can be part of it or not. You can join in or sit back. But we would love to have you there. It has been transformative and healing and helpful for, including myself, everybody that's there. So please do go to gpwalsh.com/LC for the Looking class. Oh, so good. Tomorrow. Now, all right, we've got Andy saying, I feel like Russell's clean in church. Okay, Andy, where? What? Okay. Hello, there's David and Elaine. I was just asking about you the other day. That's fun. And everyone else that's here from across the world. I think Sean snuck his question in there first. Let's go to him. I'm staying with my body. I realize I think it's been tangling emotions with the feeling of resistance, and somehow maybe even tangled resistance with comfort. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything we're used to is comfortable, right? It doesn't matter what it is. And somebody else can look and go, "You're comfortable? What?" But you are, right? Because it's familiar. That's the key. Remember that the nervous system is a stability seeking mechanism. It just wants things to be the same. Once it establishes patterns and conditions under which it can keep you safe, it does not want the environment to change. It resists change, period. And that, so being, here, do this. Fold your hands, everybody. Just fold your hands, right? Now notice which thumb is on top. Okay, now take your hands apart, put the other thumb on top and fold your hands. What does that feel like?
Uncomfy.
It's weird. This is it. This is the feeling. We want to do this. We want to go back to this, right? But if this is causing you pain or misery in some ways, causing some negative impact on your life, you need to do this and hang with it long enough so it becomes comfortable. That's what the process of healing is about. I mean, it's that simple, right? And you just notice it. Oh, okay, it's just different, right? And so it's resistant to it, right? And so this is comfortable, right? And of course, this doesn't cause you any harm. But we have a lot of habits and a lot of things that we do that do cause us harm, but they feel like this.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. It's like putting your left earbud in right now. I got to do that.
And there's a million of those. Same thing that you cross your arms. You can try to do that. And then try to, it's actually, you might not even be able to figure out how to do it.
That's a yoga pose. No.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant. Oh, we've got to put that on a little real thingamabobber. That was good. I have to say, and hopefully, Sean, that helps a little bit. Andy, he was saying this. I was like, oh gosh, he made us into Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 blah, blah. I know what you're saying though, Andy, because sometimes you can read a page in a book and you're like, I know I read it, but I have no idea what I just read. Same thing when you're listening to something, there's focus. And you're like, what are they saying? I can't focus. So anything.
Yeah, and especially if the person who's talking is a spiritual teacher telling you the truth, yes, the mind's going to go, oh, look at that. Look at over there. Gee, I wonder what's for lunch. Gee, what happened to that? I mean, all over the place. What you do, I wish it wasn't this way. That's also part of the mind, right? What you do is you notice that you're seeing it. And that which is seeing it flop all over the place isn't flopping anywhere. It's right there. Bring your attention to that which is aware of the mind. And what you'll be doing is you'll be taking all the energy away from the mind. The more you say, oh, this is a problem, I got to get out of here. Oh my, this is terrible. I wish it wasn't this way, is more of the same. It's feeding it, right? That's exactly what it wants, more distraction. So if you say, well, look at that, look at the mind, sometimes you sit down to meditate and it's bliss, right? God, everything goes quiet. And you say, oh, now I'm really meditating. And another time you sit down and it's every 2 seconds. You're all over the place. And then we say, I didn't meditate. Wrong. It's just a different stuff came up while meditating. And if you don't make a big deal out of it, it's, oh, today my mind was just all over the place. Where was I? I was here on my cushion, just sitting. So sometimes it's going to be, waves of incredible sadness will come up, right? This is whatever comes up, you just say, yes, this too. Sometimes the mind is totally nuts. Yep, it is. Other times it's not. That doesn't change. Enlightenment doesn't mean that goes away. Enlightenment means it's just, oh, look, there it is. The mind's being crazy again. So just bear that in mind. Keep bringing attention back to just that which is aware of it. Not even with the goal to try to get it to stop. Just, oh, this is here too, right? And matter of fact, none of this craziness could be here if I wasn't here first. And it's impermanent and I'm not. The restless kid in church. Every kid is restless in church. It's the most unnatural environment in the universe.
I did not, it's funny. We were talking about the body being the anchor of presence. And I'm so happy that I literally, my mind went before this, like, wow, we're going to talk a lot about being in the body, in the body, in the body. But you know what? I'm really learning right now here. It's how separate the mind is from the body. And I love this conversation about the mind. I'm really starting to recognize and see the mind so much, and how that really sneaks in there. And even when he follows up to say, I'm having a lot of stuff coming up these days. So is it coming up in our minds? And now we have to go, that's the mind.
Well, it's coming up in the emotions, it's coming up in sensations, and then there's the activity of the mind, which, remember, for all of us, the mind's been in charge. It's been the authority that's dictated, this is right, this is wrong, this is what you should be, this is what you shouldn't be. And all of a sudden, when you start stepping back and looking at it, it's like, right? I mean, you're basically pulling the plug on it. You're chasing it around with a fly swatter. And so all the stuff, seeing, you want to see the influence of the mind, right? And then separate to say, okay, this is what's actually happening in my body. This is how the mind is seeing it, right? And there's the wisdom. Right in there, you have the opportunity to discern what's true and what isn't, from a completely different place. And at that point, you regard it, of course, with loving compassion. Instead of, oh, my mind's a problem now that I've got to get rid of, it's like, no, it's just like, I have stomach cramps, right? I just have to deal with the stomach, whatever my stomach needs. Right? Oh, my mind. Oh, there goes my mind again. Okay, fine. Just do it with loving awareness. And you become more and more identified with the loving awareness, which, of course, is the energy that goes out and influences even the mind. And the mind quiets down. The mind begins to reflect the loving awareness rather than the conflict. Because it's not really the problem. The problem is that we misunderstand it.
I think that's wonderful. We can say that from now on, I'm going to think, instead of, my mind has like cramps, and say my mind's having like, not stomach cramps, but I'm going to replace that where like, oh yeah, there's my mind. He just has cramps today. He just needs to have some love.
Yeah. He's got some indigestion today. Yeah.
Literally, he's indigesting all these thoughts. But oh my goodness, there are so many helpful things today. I am going to just let everybody know that looking class, especially Andy, there's a week complimentary. So if you do go to sign up, you get the first week free to try it out. So yep. It's fun to get in there. If you got some things to work through and you want to see how the mind is influencing your things, you can bring it on to the class, and we'll work it out.
We'll work it out together. Yeah.
Yes. And just before we go, Jason says there was a young man who said, though it seems that I know, but what I would like to see is that the I that knows me when I know that I know that I know.
That's a mouthful. Yeah, we want to see the I that knows, and it's not hard. Mm-hmm. Right? Right now, you're hearing my words. That's what knows the I. The I is just a thought, right? And it's and kind of an energy pattern in the body, but that knows it isn't. It's just the knowing. And it's the kind of thing, it's the orange you have to taste. You have to just keep going back to that place to keep tasting it, to keep tasting it, to keep tasting it, and keeping it out of your head. When you get into the head, trying to describe the experience, you have to use things like Alan Watts did. You have to use these phrases that you'll hear in, Zen masters and sages and the like, describing this. What? That sounds so weird. Well, because that's the kind of paradoxical language you have to use when you're describing something. But when you actually experience it, it's just so simple. It's just you. I mean, who's hearing these words? You are. Now just throw away everything that you think that you is, all the thoughts about I, and you'll be left with just that which is I. not even the word I. It was there before even the word. Right? And it's indescribable. It's ineffable. There aren't any words for it. It's not a self. It's not a person. It's not an it. It's you. Because you're there. You're there witnessing. It doesn't matter how deep it goes. You're there witnessing it. Oh, I'm what I've been looking for.
Yes. It literally is that look to where you're looking from.
Yes.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I love that what came in there too at the end. It was beautiful. So we have to wrap up and say goodbye to everybody, but we shall be back for School Live next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And any questions, I'll keep them coming. We'll get to them. We'll see them and we'll see where we can address them. And please give us a like. We enjoy those little thumbs up. It helps us. And we'll see you guys on our next thing, whether it's the looking class tomorrow or next Tuesday is our next stuff. The retreat. Wait, everybody stop. Hold on. Last little thing. I'm so excited for the looking class. I will say this halt this Friday. So it's Tuesday. So this Friday, GP is doing that retreat. It's starting Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 full days, only $100 Canadian, like 70 some odd bucks US, 90 minutes a day. This is going to really launch you into your practice if you're looking to deepen it or begin it. Yes, this is through the Krishnamurti Education Center. And got it. And though it's online this year, yes, we're looking forward to it being in person on lovely grounds next year. But for now, please sign up because this is a phenomenal experience you're able to do. So 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you will get the replays. So if you can't attend, that's okay. You'll have it under your belt and in your back pocket for you. Okay. So please sign up there, gpwalsh.com/retreat. Super easy. Okay. Thank you guys. Okay. You can go.
You can go now.
Thank you, GP.
You can unlock the doors now.
Go. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, GP.